have a daughter. She's 22 years old. She's turning 22 this year. She's an actress. Maybe you've seen her. She moved to Hollywood, so maybe you've seen her in Absolutely Nothing. Living the dream, huh? She likes to work on herself out there in Hollywood, you know. She likes to go to support groups for, you know, support, right? So she went to this group that she was telling me all about it. She's like, I went to this amazing divorce group. It was for children of divorce. And it's weird because we're not divorced. My husband and I, her father and I are not divorced. It's very strange. Don't you think that's strange? She's addicted to drama. That's what that is. You know, she's very confrontational online, you know, so I look at her page sometimes, and there was a comment that was just blaring out, and she was going at it with them, and she's like, oh my God, it said, you're nothing but a white, pretentious, spoiled bitch. She wrote back, she goes, Mom, stop writing on my page. They got a lot of likes. Worth it, new followers, huh? And my husband and her father put a laughing emoji, and so she blocked us both. And now she identifies as an orphan. She's in orphanage groups now. So as I mentioned, I'm married. Anybody else here? Married? Yeah. Married 25 years, huh? Just celebrated 25-year wedding anniversary.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you. Very special anniversary. My husband took me to this supermarket. Just any supermarket, it was Whole Foods. Right? Crushing it. Best career move I ever made. Really. I don't know another career that's better than staying home while he makes all the money. I can't imagine. Could you imagine? No, I know, right? It's amazing. I love it. So, you know, I found a sucker. I mean, someone to pay for everything. I think that's very nice. And, you know, they say do what you love and you never have to work a day in your life, right? So I got married and I do my husband. Is that accurate? People ask me all the time, what is your secret to a long marriage? Well, I have to say, I've been learning this. I've been actively listening to him lately, you know? I've been listening a little bit more. Like the other day, we were casually laying around in bed, and out of nowhere, he says to me, I want an adventure. I want to go skydiving all over the world. I love the element of surprise and the adrenaline rush. So I pushed him off the bed. I handled everything. It was free. We didn't have to leave the house. That's what I got, huh? He also likes a challenge, so I made up this new game called Eeny, Meeny, Money, Mo. So I empty all our bank accounts and make him guess where that money is. I love that game. I have a friend, she's a whore. She's actually a prostitute. That's higher up, she's gonna get paid. She doesn't call herself a prostitute, but every man takes her for dinner, and then they pay for dinner, and then it's sex. That's a prostitute, right? I'm not even putting her down. I'm actually really jealous because I'm married and I only have one client. My husband. The business is slow. It goes away for long periods at a time. It's starting to get to me. You know, I'm starting to talk to myself. So much so that I finally went to go see a doctor, you know, just to get my body felt up. At least he said he was a doctor. He was wearing white. It was at a party. Listen, it's not cheating, it was a doctor, ladies. I got very lucky too because it was a very thorough examination, you know? Little to no coverage, so I'm going back on Tuesday. It's important to take care of your health. That's my message here today. I can't go back to my old doctor. Last time I went, I wanted to save time, so I stripped down to nothing. He was my eye doctor, but you can never be too thorough. Plus the light was better in the waiting room, you know? She gets it. Racist? All right. Feminists. Let's talk about them. They're messing up my shit. I'm not gonna lie. My husband's starting to think we're equal now. I'm so much more superior than he is. Which is weird because I always show him that I'm like acting all the time. That I burn the dinner. I mess up the laundry. It's smart. That's smart. Ladies, don't do everything right. You know what I mean? Lately, he's been asking me to do this thing called work. Like a day job? You know I do stand-up for like 10 minutes a night, right? That doesn't do anything. I said, oh really? I asked you what I was good at. You said I was great at complaining, and I don't shut the hell up. I think I nailed it. I said, do you really feel like that? He goes, yeah, I feel like every day, all I do is work for you. That's all I do is work for you. Oh my God, honey. You're right, you do work for me. We don't have a prenuptial agreement. Who said you could talk to your boss this long? Wrap that up! Millennial came up to me after a show once and she said, don't you want to work and make your own money? I said, no, I want my husband to work and make my own money. She goes, don't you want to contribute to the world? I said, what do you do? She goes, I'm a cake decorator. I said, oh, so you contribute to obesity and diabetes? You know what? I got 3 kids in the bath at the same time and no one died. Do you know how hard that is when they're screaming? No, don't drown me, don't drown me. Or when I'm texting and fixing a martini and driving back home to check on them. Not easy. Oh man, I have to say, anybody see this Barbie movie?
Of course.
Yeah. Woo! Sounds like you liked it.
Yeah.
I had to see it because I was a comedian. I thought it would be a comedy. No, but I did laugh. I have to say, I don't know, I've never seen or heard of a feminist that looked like Barbie. Did you? I know, she knows what I'm talking about. She goes back with me, you know what I'm saying? Barbie was a feminist, really? I'm not loving that message, I'll tell you why. The fantasy for me as a child was that Barbie had a dream house and Ken went to work. What is that whole thing where he's staying in her dream house and she's out to work? What kind of moron does that? What am I going to teach my daughters? Everyone's a feminist until you have to pay for alimony, huh? Not so much, or dinner even. You know, God forbid you have to pay for dinner. Or, what? I thought you were a feminist. Well, not tonight. I hate kids. Not everyone, it's just mine. Very clingy and expensive, and I have to pay for everything with the money my husband gives me. I have to pay for the food, and I have to pay for their violin lessons. I have to pay other children to play with them. I'm kidding, they don't play violin, I'm not a monster. My friends give me such a hard time because I give my kids an eating disorder. You know, to save money. It's a good tip. You don't have kids, that's why. Not the kind of eating disorder where they throw up their food. I'm a Jewish mother, I would never do that. That's a waste of food and money. The kind where I tell them they're fat, and over time, that ends up and they don't eat dinner. And there's a Porsche out there with my name on it, it's not going to buy itself. When my daughter was 13, she was such a pain in my ass, because she still lived with us, you know? I know. She walked in on my husband and I, her father and I having sex. It's a true story. I said, don't you knock? She goes, you're in the kitchen. What are you doing in the kitchen? I thought I gave you that eating disorder. And I had to have that long, awkward talk with her. You know the one? I had to tell her she had to move out. She's doing okay though. She was actually, she complains about school though a lot. You know, she complains a lot about school. Oh, the classrooms are too small, the lunches are horrible, the teachers are horrible. And I feel very bad because she was homeschooled. I made her class president too. School president, how about that? Valedictorian, everything. Very good teacher. I didn't know what I was doing on the first day of homeschool. I was just trying to get the curriculum, so I just made her watch a video about Benjamin Franklin. I'm like, go watch this video. It's 30 minutes long. I had time to kill. She comes running back to me after 5 minutes. She goes, Mom, Benjamin Franklin paid women to have sex with him. I go, oh my God, he was a genius. See how ugly he was? He had to pay women to have sex with him. Plus, that's how the $100 bill was invented, because he was sick of paying those hookers with 50s. True story. She's getting very woke. I don't like it at all. You know that woke thing? You know what I'm talking about? That they're really asleep? All right. I was teaching her about the tiger shark. I said they're the most vicious in the ocean, second to the great white. That's true. She whispers in my ear. She goes, great white? That's racist. I lost it. I said, shut the hell up, you loser bitch. And then I had to explain to everyone sitting in the waiting room at the pediatrics office what happened because she whispered and I yelled. That's not fair. But I did explain to everybody there. I said, listen, I'm empowering my daughter. I'm teaching her how to talk to people like myself. And I think they all agree that teaching came very naturally to me because child services doesn't stop calling. A little dull, but it's okay. You gave Chase everything. It's all right. It was worth it. Okay. It's fine. It's great. I like to sell my husband's things on Craigslist, you know, to make extra money. He doesn't necessarily know I'm doing it. I was selling his ladder. It was $250, shiny new. I was selling it for $50, a bargain. A bargain. There's always this one guy, right? I'll give you $40. And then he writes, that's all the money I have. What? You only have $40? You only have 2 Andrew Jacksons? You only have 2 $20 bills? You only have $40 and you're buying a ladder. Okay, I'll give you that ladder for $40. And I'll throw the rope in for free, huh? It's a suicide joke. It's like, what kind of talk is that? I go, well, you look like you're suicidal. What do I know? I had a friend that was suicidal. Yeah, and I stopped him from killing himself. Do you know that? I probably shouldn't have, because he's a serial killer today. No. I should have killed him. No, he would always ask me for favors. Do this for me, do that for me. I'm feeling suicidal. I don't feel good. I'm feeling suicidal. After a whole year, I finally go, just do it already. And you know what? He's alive and well today because he doesn't want me to be right. Very spiteful. Then I once used the card on him. And I said, I don't feel good. I'm feeling suicidal. I need those favors back. And you know what happened? He called the suicide squad on me. You know what? The joke's on him. I like it. Now everybody in my building wants to know if I'm doing okay. All right. You guys into the masks during the pandemic? The masks, did they work? Did they not work? You were into it? Yeah. I was never really into it, but the world is divided. And I had to be open-minded. You know. I finally listened to somebody's story. They said, you know what? There was a guy wearing a mask. He was on his bicycle. He got hit by a car. He died. But his mask saved his teeth from falling on the floor, and his family was very grateful they were able to identify the body. So, I'm team mask now. There's no easy way to say this. My husband is a raw vegan. Anybody else? And an ultra runner, so I never see him. He runs all the time, and he only eats raw fruits and vegetables. Isn't that nice? I said, why do you do this, honey? He goes, I do this because it's a peaceful diet. It's very peaceful. It's with 98% of the same DNA as chimps. Have you seen a chimp? Do they look peaceful to you? Do you remember that chimp story when she ripped off the face of this lady? Chimps don't have anything to do with this diet. There's a website online that says it's www.30bananasaday.com. Yeah, it sounds like a porn site. They should have named it 69 Bananas. So he goes on there and he's writing all this stuff about how great he feels and how nice he looks, and all these women are throwing themselves at him, you know? One day I walked into the house and I heard him over talking to his friend. I overheard him talking, and his friend goes, he's on the phone with his friend and he goes, oh my God, she was so hot. She was waiting in my car and it was so wet and great. Oh my God, she was waiting. I go, excuse me? He goes, it's a peach. A peach was in my car. I couldn't wait to eat it. She was ripe and ready for me. And she gets it. I know what you're thinking. Does it taste better if, he eats pineapple? I do not swallow and tell. But I will say this. I do feel a lot healthier now that he's a fruitarian. A policeman stopped me. It happens. Stopped me and he says, do you know why I stopped you? I said, it's because I'm pretty. He said, no. I said, no, I'm not pretty. He said, that's not why I stopped you. I said, oh, it's because I'm a Jewish girl? He goes, how do I know you're Jewish? I said, because I'm chosen. Because I have a nice car. It adds up. I said, is it because I'm black? He goes, you're not black. I said, oh, you have your eyesight. That's very good. That's good to have as a cop. It's a good quality for you. He says, do you know why I stopped you? I said, no, why'd you stop me? He goes, I can't remember. That's how you got out of the ticket, guys. I was roasting my family members on a group chat. They don't like it. That's okay. That's all right. I was writing to, my autocorrect gets me in trouble. I wrote my grandfather's on it. I said, hi, Grandpa, I'm coming to town. Are you around? And everyone's like, what kind of question is that? What's wrong with you? And it said, hi, Grandpa, I'm coming to town. Are you aroused? My phone knows me so well. I say that word a lot. And he's hot. For 97, which is so cute. I took him to the gym after my grandmother died for moral support. He said, Victoria, what machine's going to make me sexy and buff to the ladies? I went, Grandpa, you're adorable. It's the ATM machine. Now give me $5 a day. She's by herself. So I was on the train recently with my friend, and we saw an ad for Back to the Future. You guys know that was about, well, you guys would know, it's about a time travel, right? It's coming to Broadway. There's an ad that it's coming to Broadway. I don't know if you guys know. So my friend says, wouldn't it be so cool if we went back in time? I said, no, I'm a Jewish woman. When was it good for me? It was weird because he was a black guy. I'm like, when was it good for you? No, you can go back to Germany in the 1930s and warn them about the Holocaust. And I could do that? I could warn them about the Holocaust? And who's going to plug in my time machine? There I am, sitting there with one family. I have no internet to tell anybody, or bandwidth to tell anybody else. I have to tell this poor little Jewish family that everyone's going to die. 6 million Jews are going to die. It's going to be crazy, horrendous, insane, because nothing says sanity, like a crazy bitch from the future with a time machine. So he goes, calm down. I said, yeah, that's a perfect thing to say to a woman when she's angry. Calm down. And it didn't look good, because I was a white woman. I was a black guy in a subway station. So I did what any other white woman would have done in this situation of guilt. I fucked him. My husband still doesn't know if that's true, and I'll never tell, guys. All right, guys, that's my time. Thank you so much. I'm Victoria Arnstein. Give it up to your host, Nancy for the dog, guys. Thank you. I got a standing ovation. The only one. Thank you.
Keep it going for Victoria Arnstein.